Well guys, we are trying to make a video. We are back. I am at a local lake here close to town. One I have had just a tiny bit of success on. We're gonna be, obviously it's end of season, so it's panfish. No targeting, walleye, pike, and all those on inland waters here in Minnesota. Inland waters. If you were up on Lake of the Woods or I think the St. Croix River or even part of the Minnesota or Mississippi River, those have some open areas as far as targeting walleye and all those bigger game fish. But we are going for, this lake should have some bluegills. It's got a little bit of history on crappies. I've never caught one out here. And the bluegills I've caught have never been too big. But the bluegills I've only caught during the summer. So like I said, I haven't fished this lake much in the winter time. Just a few little trips here or there. It's the evening, sun's getting ready to go down here. We probably got about an hour or so of, hour and a half of daylight left. Enough time to get out there, get set up, and get comfortable before it gets dark. Hoping to spend a couple hours out here. We'll see how the fishing is. If it gets really slow and starts to get cold, which it's supposed to, but I've got the heat. But you know, I'm just glad to be out fishing. It's been a struggle to get out, not for lack of want to, but just lack of motivation. I've tried to make a few videos and have caught zero or no fish, or very little fish. Even our trips up north to Red this year, the first one with the guys was somewhat fruitful, but I was up Red Lake with my daughter last weekend, a week ago, and we caught one 6-inch perch and one 13-inch walleye. Granted, we were in 7-ish feet of water, and I had the camera down, and we had some boulders and their structure, and you know, spent time jigging, trying to call them in, and I never even got any on the camera either. But being so shallow, unless they were right underneath the Vexilar beam, you just didn't know what was down there unless you spent your time looking at the camera. And I don't have a very nice one. It does enough to where you can see a little bit, but it's black and white, and it's old technology. But anyway, so we're gonna get out fishing. I'm trying to bust myself out of this little bit of ho-humness that I've had this winter. So I've been fishing, haven't had much luck, and so we're just going to try and change that. Again, I know, I think I've mentioned in the past, doing a kayak fishing type stuff, and I've been looking again at getting kayaks. But so I'm hoping this spring and summer we can do a few more videos and get those coming out again. I do enjoy making them, even editing them. It's just a way for me to kind of log memories. So anyway, let's get going. I gotta unpack, gotta get going. I'm gonna walk out. There's a couple other guys out here. It looks like they drove out. It's been a little too warm for me to do that. I'm sure there's plenty of ice out there, but I'm not comfortable on this lake driving my truck out there without, especially once it gets dark. It is colder today, but this lake I'm not too familiar with as far as driving lanes and all that stuff, and really knowing where there might be some springs or soft spots. Not that I don't know if there isn't. I guess I should do some more research. So anyway, let's get going. I'm gonna get packed up. You guys are gonna be out for a little bit, and I think the next clip you'll see is either me walking or, I did buy a little mini drone, a little DJI Neo. I've played around with it a little bit. So today it'll be probably just follow mode, and maybe use it to when I'm setting up, as opposed to using the phone. So I'm charging that as we're shooting this. Hopefully have enough battery, and hopefully we catch some fish. It's one of those things. I just have not caught fish this winter. It's been really frustrating when I've gone out, and that has been part of the wholeness of pushing myself to get out, you know, in evenings or anything like that, or when I get time. So we're gonna do this. Let's do this. Let's go. Venture outdoors. Let's go. All right, I got some holes drilled over here. we're gonna get the marking going, see what we got for depth. Should be anywhere from like 9 to 18 feet. Let's start. Now we'll start in this hole over here. All right. Looks like there might be something down there. All right. Scoop. I will say this HT extendable scoop I got for Christmas. They're really nice. I don't have to. I can stand and scoop, which when you got your layers on, it's kind of nice. All right. All right. First drop. I'd say we're good there. Yeah, we're good there. We're a little tight on that. Yeah, maybe we're marking some weeds because I was able to go past those top couple. Got some, looks like a bubble coming up. Turn the gain down a little bit. There we go. So there's still a guy pulling a house out that way. And then off over here, there was a truck that just left. Ooh, that might have been. Yeah, it's not. I mean, it's cold, but the wind isn't anything to worry about right now. So I might try to. Oh, yeah, there we go. It's a fish. Yeah, some crappie minnows and fatheads with. I can use the heads for bait if need be. But I did not buy any waxies. But my goal is to use artificial. Yeah, there's fish down there. Green's turning to red. Just if they want it still, or which kind of looks like maybe they do. Makes me feel good though that I'm seeing some marks. Alright. So here's that Kenders that I'm using. I just threw a crappie minnow head on there, a little chunk of it. We'll see. Yeah, this line I'm using is some sort of braid. I don't remember if it was the clam braid or where I got it from. It's blue, kind of looks like dental floss almost. If a little minnow head fires them up a little bit. I'm just gonna dead stick it for a second here. They're down there. Well, like I said, I'm not gonna spend too much time. We'll check these other holes. But look at that view. I don't know if you guys can see that sundog, but just a beautiful view of the lake. Set up the house and we can probably don't need that long on the next. We might have been in a little deeper water. Nice. Something a little down there interested. But little might be the key word. Oh, there's coming. He's on it, but he was right on it. I'd have to try some of the plastics that I bought this year. I haven't really gotten a chance to use. And this lake isn't a well-known, it's actually a pretty good walleye lake. Normally out in this area there's 10, 12 houses during the winter, but obviously it's the end of the season, gotta get them off the ice where we're at. Alright, just switched holes again. This one we're at about 14 and a half feet, probably 15 feet. I might have the deucer down a little bit. Doesn't look like there's much for structure down there. Looking at the thickness of the ice, I probably could have driven out here, but I need the exercise. It's just a flicker of green though, so I don't think it's going to be anything too big. It's about this, give me about the same reading as my jig. And it keeps going in and out, so it must be something, but. Alright, just switched holes again. Looks like there's a little more life at the bottom of this one. Not really that far, much farther away, but must be a little bit different. I don't know, that first hole seemed to be, I could spend all day drilling, but I shall probably drill a few more. I don't know if I want to go much deeper. Yeah, maybe before we lose the sun, we'll drill some holes. I like that. Alright, try this hole one more time before we start drilling. We're still showing some life down there. I don't know. You guys can kind of see. Oh, Mark just popped up high. Oh. Well, that was weird. I swore that was going to be a fish. I'm going to try. I'm going to drill some holes. I think we're going to switch to it. Jig and plastic. We're going to go in this way. All right, we're switching to a jig. We got this. Yeah. See if I can show you guys. This little guy, kind of got some bug eye, has some fur on it. I'm gonna use one of Big B's baits. See what we can do here. Got this nice little wiggler tail, so even if I'm keeping it still, hopefully it's moving along. See if I can get this on there without it looking too wonky. This isn't the best. Yeah, we'll see. Actually been pretty impressed too. And I know I should probably be tying directly to the line, but I'm being lazy. Especially when I'm having that much trouble. There we go. Alright, throw the gloves back on. I drilled 5 more holes. Battery's starting to go on the auger. Must not have charged that one when I got home from Red. We'll start in the hole that I ended with. This isn't a great presentation. Come on, get that tail out there. That might be too small. I might have to turn the gain up a little bit. I don't know if you guys can see that, but on that red mark at about 5 feet, and there's a couple of marks. I was thinking maybe it was bubbles, but maybe it wasn't. A lot of pressure going on in the ice. Hopefully the microphone's picking it up. Back in the truck, it was a couple hours. I didn't set up the flip over, just kept drilling holes. Phone died after a little bit. It started to get cold. Thankfully the wind wasn't blowing, so I was able to stay outside the flip over, just kind of hop around. I did mark a few fish that might be in the video. I did not catch any fish. Still debating whether or not I'd post this. Just haven't posted anything all winter, other than a few shorts. But you know, it is what it is. It's kind of the way this season has gone for me. When I have been able to get out, I can't spend a lot of time, out there doing scouting and fishing around the way I'd want to. And like I said in the intro, foreseeing this, this winter has just kind of been a meh for me as far as getting out. And I've wanted to, but just haven't had the want to get ready and go out and even hit the lakes where I know I could probably catch a few crappies and make a video if I wanted to make a video. But it's kind of the way this winter has been for me. Starting to come out of it, just kind of pushing myself to get back into doing the things that I love to do, and I think that's the biggest, most important thing for me right now is doing that. Not to get all sappy and emotional, but this winter's been tough. But yeah, so I'm hoping to do more videos this spring and open water season. There's no guarantee on the kayak, so we might be doing more shore fishing, but that is a little more fruitful when I only have an hour or two to get out and do that. Hopefully get out on the big water, a couple bigger lakes, where we've got the cabin. It'd be nice to get out on that, utilize the pontoon, and try to do some walleye fishing and learn that lake. It's a lake that I haven't really spent a lot of time on, other than with my wife's uncle, who's a guide out there. And, I know that we've even had some tough days with him. So, until next time, who knows when that's going to be, but you guys get out there, have fun, with a buddy or by yourself, but just get out and do it. And until next time, venture outdoors.